Friday. Welcome. Come on in. Hey, Larry. Love you. I see you there. Yes. Come on, kids. I'm dancing to stay warm. It is cold up in these New York streets. Yes. Yes. Let me throw up some photos of my guest today. Yes. Oh, wait. Before I do that, I'll get to that in a second. Yes. Yes. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Here's my guest today. Come on, Chris Davis. Yes. Okay. Doing it. Chris Davis is in the house today. Christopher Davis. Okay. Come on, Chris Davis. Christopher Davis. Yes. We are going back, kids. How are you? Happy Friday. I'm so happy to be here today with you guys. Yes. Oh, my face is covering his. Hold on. Yes. 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 I love it. Giving it to the kids. Hey, Kate. What's up, everybody? Come on in. Come on in. Yes, this is my guest today. Come on, Blue Streaking, that's right. Yes, welcome, welcome. Come on. Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, y'all are jumping right in here. I love it. Thank you guys for being here. Happy Friday, and welcome. This is dannIGeeLive. We are here. I'm calling out to you guys from Washington Heights in New York, and it is a brick up in these streets. So I hope you all are staying warm and, or have shelter, and, shout out and God bless to those who don't have shelter. So let's keep them in our prayers because it is freezing out here in these New York streets. I think it's like 22 degrees now. So I am grateful and thankful for the roof over my head, the clothes on my back, and a place to stay for, in heat. So please think of your less fortunate human beings that are suffering and dealing with so much. And I mean, this has been a month, right? We have already had so much loss, but this week, the great Andre Leon's Hallie, and then just heard about Meatloaf. Oh, Meatloaf, rock and roll legend Meatloaf. Louis Anderson, comedian Louis Anderson. Oh, our prayers go out to their families. And someone who I actually did get a chance to meet, which was the legendary Brazilian artist, Elza Soares. So just really quickly, I want to bring up her photo. If you guys are not familiar with her, look at this queen, diva down. And she didn't actually start her music career until in her 30s. And she had a whole life before that, somewhat traumatic, a lot of abuse, and just, she was so courageous and just fought the good fight and had this incredible, long, lengthy career, the queen of, just Brazil, Elza Soares. And just, I got to meet her. She played Summer Stage. My colleague, Paula Abreu, also from Brazil, fought to bring her to Summer Stage for years. And I believe she played Summer Stage in 2000, I want to say 17. I'm sorry, I forget the date. But shout out to my colleague, Paula, who brought her to Summer Stage. And I actually got to meet this legend backstage, and just give her an embrace and hug her and kiss her. I first found out about her. I was on tour in Brazil with Gloria Gaynor back in 2010, and we were in the airport, and I was just looking for some new music, and I was just attracted to her CD cover. I mean, look at her. I had one more photo to share of her. She's just so dynamic, and she was just oh darn it, I'm covering her. I'll go back to the other picture, but just a legend. So this was, look at that. That was her stage setup. I mean, everything, right? So just God bless. Thank her for all of her gifts and her inspiration to all of us. Elza Soares, if you don't know who she is, please look her up. I shared about her on my Instagram page. And again, prayers up for Andre Leon's Hallie and all who loved him. He inspired so many. And Meatloaf, who's rock and roll legend, and of course Louis Anderson, who just passed after an illness. So we send love and prayers to their families and loved ones. So yes, it is Friday. It's it's the weekend. I'm here. I've got I wanted to have a cocktail, but I was out with a girlfriend last night, so I'm just having some water. But I hope you guys are doing great. So my guest today is my longtime friend, Christopher Davis. Wait. Chris, please don't kill me. I found this picture. This is Chris Davis. Look at that joy. And when I tell you guys, he is exactly the same person. I can't even tell you. All right, let me pull up a more current photo so he doesn't kill me. Yes, this is him. I believe, it's Fire Island with, yes, baby photo with the legendary Wendy Whalen of New York City Ballet and Craig Harris. Craig Harris, right? Craig Harris. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. I think that's Craig. And so, ballet dancers with New York City Ballet as he's a presenter. So let me just go through his bio before I bring him in. I know he is already watching. So let me just go into it. Christopher F. Davis brings almost 30 years of experience as a successful performing artist and arts administrator. Chris Davis has appeared on Broadway and Guys and Dolls, Miss Saigon, Candide, The Life, Peter Pan, On the Town, and A Christmas Carol at Madison Square Garden. His tours include Ziegfeld, A Night at the Follies, The Wiz with Stephanie Mills, and the Jimmy Buffett Tiki Time Tour. Come on, Tiki Time. Mr. Harris, Chris, has appeared in the films Jeffrey, Center Stage, and Marci X. His TV appearances include Rosie O'Donnell, Sex and the City, the TV Guide Awards, the NBA All-Star Weekend, VH1 Vogue Fashion Awards with Macy Gray, and as a Versace man on Saturday Night Live with Halle Berry. Yes, come on. He taught master classes in musical theater and jazz technique across the U.S. and has been a judge for various dance organizations and received the President's Award from Dance Masters of America, the nation's oldest dance teacher organization, for his continued work in the field of dance. He was a producer with Dancers Responding to AIDS, a program of Broadway Cares for almost 9 years, for the fundraisers Dance from the Heart, Fire Island Dance Festival, and Stars of Tomorrow, Giving Back Today, where he expanded presentations of performances by cultivating a more diverse roster of choreographers and dancers of national and international acclaim. In addition, he has been a regional judge for the Miss New York pageant, Miss America. Okay, I want to ask about that. And has also coordinated master classes for Cab Calloway School for the Arts and Christina Cultural Arts Center, bringing in top performing artists and teachers to Wilmington, Delaware. He currently serves as the Associate Artistic Director of Wilmington Ballet Academy of the Dance. He is the first African American in the school's 65-year history to hold this position. Okay. And we need to talk about that. So, how many people do you actually know in your life that's a first, right? Of anything. So impressed, so honored that he is taking the time today to come on here. So let me go grab him. Yes. Let's see if I can find him. Come on. Wait, fingers crossed.
You and that baby picture.
I saw that photo on your Facebook page. I was like, oh, I've got to. Come on. You are still that person. And I just love it about you. You are still so much full of life and joy. And
I miss that hair.
Joie de vivre. I love it.
That
right.
Native
hair. Give
my grandmother's Native American hair. I miss that, honey. She was down to there and then she shrank up. And now she's gone.
Yeah, so thank you for all of that. And me going through your bio, I'm just like, wow. I mean, I know people for all these years, and then I get to do these, or I get to go through your bio. Because, listen, when you're friends with someone, you don't ask them for their bio. So you're like, sometimes you don't even know all that they've done in their lives and careers. And it's like, wow, okay. We have drinks with Kiki, we carry on. But, we're not asking each other, like, so when did you? And so just reading through all of this, it's so impressive. But I didn't realize you had done so much Broadway work and the touring.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to get to all of that. But first, how are you?
Well,
And tell
I
everyone where
am
you're
in
calling
my
in
office.
from.
If you hear a little tinkle tinkle of ballet music in the background, the kids got those pointies on, honey, pointing those biscuits. Right now, across from my office at the Wilmington Ballet Academy of the Dance. They have a 2-hour ballet class on Fridays from 4 to 6. So they're all kikiing in the hall.
Right.
I have a sign on my door, do not disturb. Because they like to pop in and talk to Mr. Chris. I'm like, get out. I love them though, but
how long have you been there now?
I took this job during the beginning of COVID. Honey, I thought, what do I have to lose? Everything else is falling around. I might as well just say yes. I drank a crap load of white wine in my backyard. And they've been asking me, the ED, he had just been hired, and saw that I was on faculty here taught once a week for the adult jazz class, a little Kiki fun. And he was like, wait, Chris Davis is here in Wilmington at this studio? And so he pursued me for this position, and we drank lots of wine. And finally I said, what the hey, yes, let's try it. And it's been about 2 years.
Yes. Right, because you had already moved there.
Well, we moved
you had been living there for how long? With your partner?
We bought the home 10 years ago. We come down for the weekend. You remember that?
Right.
Yeah, so
that I remember.
We can get away from New York City. And so about 7 years ago, we were like, you know what? We're done. My husband said, what do we want to do? And move on. He said, we can either move anywhere in the country. Let's leave New York City. And so about 5 years ago, we permanently moved here. I still had a job in New York City with another company. So I was still coming back and forth checking with the accountant. It was another performing arts organization. And finally, we just settled. But then I got this job during the pandemic. Yeah.
That's perfect. What was, if you can say or want to share, what was the impetus to leave New York altogether?
I think I had reached my peak at DRA, and I had other friends who were advisors and on committees at DRA saying, you know what? You've done what you need to do. You've gotten at the top. This is it. My husband's done with his career. He was tired of as he said, I get tired of being bumped in by people on the sidewalk and the subway. So, and his thing was, he said, having you leave New York City is like ripping your arm off, because as a little boy in Louisiana, all I thought about was moving to a big city. And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, let's just try to find something. And we had the house. And he said, okay, what do you want to do? He said, you get the final vote. Of course, with the pressure. It's only 2 people. Ain't no final vote. There's Ginger.
Well, there's Ginger.
She's ride or die, honey. She will go wherever.
So Ginger, by the way, guys, is their doll,
our little
their
toy fox
baby.
terrier. You can follow her, honey.
She's a diva, honey. A
42nd
diva.
Street Magazine. She's had the little what's the little fire thing? She's been on their Instagram account. Oh yeah, she's had gigs. We all work in this house.
She's working.
But yeah, that was it. We were both at the thinking like, hey, we've done it all. We've accomplished everything we wanted to accomplish. I always wanted to work for Broadway Cares. I've been there for 9 years with DRA. And it was just getting toward the end where I thought, it's not where I wanted to be at this point emotionally. And I was like, so we decided to do that. I'd gotten this other job, a startup company, a performing arts group that catered master classes for people from Europe, Spanish speakers. And so I took that position as their director of operation, temporarily, by the way. I said, I'll only be here. I said, in my proposal, I'll set it up for you. I'll have it done for you in this amount of time. You pay me this amount of money. It was cute. I was like, oh, that's cute, check. And then they said, well, can you stay? Yeah. And I said, well, because we'd already started our plan to move to Delaware. We told maybe 3 people in New York City that we were leaving. We started this plan 2 years prior, or a year and a half prior to leaving New York City, where we would sort of move things out of our apartment Howard mover. And first I go, oh, we saw a moving truck. What's going on? I said, oh, we're just moving extra things, you know, from the apartment into the house in Delaware. We have more space there. Dark and night.
Okay,
Dark and night.
Dark and night.
I mean, literally lying to my coworkers at Broadway Care. It's like, oh, we were just moving things here and yon, you know, and you know, three people knew. They were like, oh yeah, he's moving. But yeah, so because we didn't really want to tell anybody. We didn't want to tell my boss. He did not want to tell his boss. I was like, we didn't want people to think, okay, they're already moving. So we kind of did it at under nightfall and finally made that decision. So we're happy now. Yeah. Shell shock, chow.
I mean, I can imagine, right? Because I'm not that familiar with Delaware and just, you know, Wilmington. And are you in downtown area? Like, are you sort of?
We're not even considered part of Wilmington proper. We're considered part of, you know, the outskirts of Wilmington. Wilmington, you know, is the size of my town growing up. So about 100,000 people within the city. But, you know, we're on the north side. So we're so close to the Philly airport. So people jokingly refer to Wilmington as a suburb. Because a lot of people in Wilmington work in Philly. And then people in Philly, because Wilmington has all the banks. So, you know, when you're getting those offers for those credit cards, it's from Wilmington. Banking town. So it's slower. And so about 2 weeks after we actually were here, I thought, oh my God, what the hell have we done? I would go once a month to the city to check with the accountant. I was still trying to book master classes. At that point, I was here, and we were doing something with the National Tour of Hamilton in Chicago, having a master class set up with them. And so it was just back and forth. And finally, I said, I've got to go, honey. That commuting and trying to work from my home office was not cute. And there are no subways out here. And I didn't have a car. I didn't have one car.
What's the transit in Delaware? Like,
bus.
What's there? Are there like streetcars?
Bus. I hope you can catch it.
Oh, wow. Okay. See, I know nothing about.
I mean, we don't have sidewalks. We live on a cul-de-sac. There are no sidewalks. We live by a golf course and the skating club of Delaware. So we live by an ice skating rink that you see on TV. We can cross the street.
Okay, that's cute.
We walk the Ginger, you know, through the golf course and by there. And so it's very suburban. And so, you know, I was like, I have to get a car. So 2 weeks into it, I was like, I'm buying a car for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, we made the adjustment.
Yes. So yeah, take me back, because I think I had forgotten that you were from Louisiana. So I'm really fascinated by any of us that, you know, just our childhoods and how we make it into this world of the arts. And I think for any like young people that are watching any of these, just how, you know, people's journeys were. I mean, obviously things were different then than they are now, and access to different things, but it's still the same journey. It's still the same struggle themes, even with technology and all of this. But what city did you grow up in? And just tell me like how you came to dance. Like, what were your early inspirations?
Louisiana. And so I got to dance through cheerleading. So I cheered my senior year in high school for the basketball, and then I almost said audition. I tried out for college and got it. And so I was on a good squad. And so if you were watching the documentary Cheer on Netflix, that was my life, that level of cheerleading. So I was an All-American, the first one from my university. The only one at that time from the state of Louisiana. I was one of the top 10 men in the nation. And the only Black person on that list that year.
Wow. See, listen.
So
wow.
I did that. And my father used to joke. He said, am I sending you to college for an education or to be a cheerleader? I was like, to be a cheerleader. Because the performance aspect of cheerleading was what I loved, not realizing that I was going to lead to dance. It was just, there's this thing as a child growing up I loved watching The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson because he would have all these performers on. And one of my earliest memories, and I told her this, was seeing Stephanie Mills sing Be a Lion. She was on there. They're talking about this new show called The Wiz. And I'm watching this little girl at that time, this little girl on TV. And I thought, I want to do that. Now, I didn't know how you get into that. And he would have people like Hinton Battle from Tap Dance Kid doing, so they would always bring in all these. That's true. It was a variety show. So they would bring in all these Broadway shows and performers and see people. So I kind of knew I was attracted to that. Didn't know how I would do it. My family's all about education. My father was supervisor of public schools. My grandfather's a college professor at Southern University. That kind of background. So here in college, and on homecoming game, I was tumbling on the grass. It rained. Go up in the air, land, and I hear. It was my knee moving. I tore 80% of my anterior cruciate ligament, my ACL. I landed on my feet, and so something's wrong. Now, the rest of the cheerleaders have already run off to the sidelines. They've tumbled. We would always start from the 50-yard line and just tumble all the way to the end because we were like these power tumblers. And I see them all looking at me because I'm just standing there. Now, at this point, the football team is running on the van. It's coming, right? And I'm like, oh, crap. How many of this field?
And you're standing there.
And because I didn't know something was wrong. And I limped off on my own. I thought I dislocated my knee. So they wrapped my knee. I'm trying to throw my partner in the air and on one leg and couldn't really brace the pyramids. And so once they discovered that, I was, in the brace and all that. So long story short, go all the rehab, all of that. One of my friends from high school, who I'd known forever, said, oh, you should come to my dance class. Come to acro class. I'm like, what the hell is acro? I'm like, and so my friend Linda Sherwood. And so I went with her to dance class. This pink studio child. My dance teacher loved pink. Pink light bulbs, pink paneling, pink carpet, and pink. And I'm thinking, what kind of pink hell is she bringing me into? And so I go in and I watch them. We learn the warm up, and all of a sudden, she says, "Okay, girls, put on your heels." The girls walk over, and after the warm up, put on these T-straps, which I didn't know what, and start doing these side aerials in their teeth. I'm like, what the hell? Where am I? What world is this? But I was hooked.
I can't.
And then she said, "Oh, let's take a jazz." So she said, my teacher threw me in a jazz class. Because I could move from cheerleading and dance. I had this affinity for movement. And that's what got me into it. And didn't know my teacher was a member of Dance Masters of America and had been a past local president and was living in Lake Charles. Had decided not to have a professional career. She had her students since she was 16. Was friends with Frank Hatch and Chuck Kelly. They'd all been friends since they were 16. That was her. But decided to stay in Lake Charles. So she grew up and had this studio.
Wow.
So all of a sudden,
let me just actually pause really quick because Phil Chan was in the room. And I love you both.
Yes,
all the great work you're doing. Love you too.
Honey.
Yes, my girl Monique just I see you, girl. But yeah, so that's incredible.
So I got hooked. And
so wait, so you're what age now?
19, 20. Late.
Wow, so you came to dance late. But see, had the skill set, had the natural talent, clearly starting that late and was killing it out in the streets, right?
Guys, when I moved to New York City, other dancers on Broadway who had been male college cheerleaders. So having that background of jumping and flexibility and strength and knowing your body because you have to throw through the air. When you go to dance, you're like, okay, I just have to figure out how to do it in a different way, in a much more refined manner than just like, So
Right. I also love that so many of us, our first sort of formative stories and inspirations centered around the whiz. Like, I don't know how many of these interviews I've done. They're like, well, the first show I ever saw was The Wiz. And I was like,
the
oh,
Wiz.
The
Can you
Wiz. Thank you,
imagine?
George Faison.
Stephanie, all of
Thank
them.
you,
I
Stephanie
mean,
Mills.
you know, George
Joffrey
Faison.
Coulter. Thank you. Come on, Andre the Shields.
Honey, I
Still in
call
that
Andre
jumpsuit,
Poppy. He took
skinny.
me under his wings on the tour. And still can wear that original white jumpsuit.
You came to when I presented it in Central Park, right? You and Miss Evelyn and the kids and with Andre. First of all, that was the first time I ever got to meet Andre the Shields. And when he came on stage for the rehearsal, it was like this, the time just stood still. And then when he came out there in that original damn jumpsuit, size 22-inch waistline. I'm like, what? Really?
Killing it. I mean, the way he would eat on a 2-show day so he could fit into it on the second show that day. Yeah, literally.
Celery.
Like,
Celery with a side of air.
Maybe a Tic Tac and a bottle of water.
Maybe. So, all right. So now you're taking dance more seriously. You're in college, and when do you have your first sort of professional
my epiphany
dance
came
experience?
After I started dancing, she put me in this competition called the Mr. Dance of Texas. I won.
Come on, Mr. Dance.
And so this same chapter is the Texas chapter. This same organization many moons prior had this old white racist teachers in there, and my teacher was friends with Patsy Swayze. Patsy was a member, so they've been friends forever. So of course Patsy at that point had brought her kids, Patrick and a young lady by the name of Debbie Allen, on to the dance convention. They decided to kick those black kids off the floor, like Debbie Allen. So Debbie Allen's never done anything to this day for Dance Masters of America, Texas chapter. Yes.
What?
So that's the tea. So for me to win Eons as its first black Mr. Dance of Texas was the big thing. And the next day, a teacher tried to throw me a little bit of shade. I mean, literally, and the mothers in my studio went back and told my dance teacher. Now, my teacher, blonde hair, looking like Shirley MacLaine and Postcards from the Edge, pink nail polish, didn't take crap off of nobody. So she went, because she heard about it. And I told her, I was like, she told me, oh, yeah, that will never win at Nationals. Everybody does lyrical. I'm like, this just mean to me in front of the whole group. This math class, the next day after I'd won, this one teacher. And so, they all run to her. She walks into the board meeting of all the teachers, reads them up one side and down the other, and said, oh, and by the way, this is the last time you see his black ass on this floor.
Oh,
went off on them. She was,
what did you do?
Miss Linda said something, you just did it. And so we finished the convention, and I never went back, and I competed at nationals, and I wound up placing in the top 10 at nationals. After only like a year and a half, Frank Hatchett saw me. Like, who's this kid who's only been dancing like, what, a year? How can you dance? And so then she sent me down to do a Nutcracker. That was my first professional thing in New Orleans with Delta Festival Ballet Company. And they needed a gymnast for the Russian Trepak. And I did that, and I thought, okay, this is cool. And I was in class with other guys, these professional dancers learning tours. And Jehun Ozoy from Joffrey was the ballet master. That was my first really kind of thing, like, okay. Now, I'm thinking, like, do I really want to be a ballet dancer? No. I still like sparkle and fan kicks. So I was like, I don't know about that. So, but that was my first thing. And so in college, my junior year, I switched. I was a mass comp major, radio and TV, and I switched to PR and advertising because I knew I thought I needed that. My father was like, oh, you know, you're going to graduate, get your master's, and do all that. And I was like, no, I think I'll be a dancer. And so he was like, what? Like, no one's danced in our family, and, you know.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, here's my agreement. The agreement was, you know, you pay for school, I finish, that's that. So I got my degree, finished it, and he tried to bring up, oh, now what you going to do now? And I said, I'm going to go to New York City with Miss Glinda. And so she, you know, she was great. She would say hello. She was a good
Glinda the Good Witch.
She would bring in master teachers, take us to New York City for class. We'd be at BDC for like 2 weeks, Broadway Dance Center. You know, bopping with the kids and Frank
I haven't heard that term in forever. Bopping.
And bop.
Come on, bop.
And I first started in class at Cecilia Marta. I was like, woo, what is going on?
Yes, Cecilia Marta.
You got the combination, yes.
Yes, honey.
Like, what? And so that did it. That body. Cecilia Marta, she's no joke. But that kind of did it. And so I waited a year, saved my money. And my teacher in the meantime brought us to the United Kingdom for 2 weeks. We got this friendship ambassador thing to go and represent Louisiana. So we got to dance in the UK. So I had all these experiences with her. So by the time I saved my money, we were ready to leave. And I wound up getting another scholarship from DMA. At that point, my teacher was national president of Dance Conventions of America. So we moved up here. I had no place to live. My friend Lori at Delta Festival worked at Taffy's Dancewear. Taffy's Dancewear.
You're taking me back.
Not Capizio. It was still Taffy's back then. Still Taffy's. before the buyout. So she got me a job, sight unseen. So I go to the Marriott Marquis Hotel at the National Convention for DMA, and I have a job at Taffy's. So taking class. So I don't know where the hell I'm going to live, child. And at that time, all the kids were going to this audition for Cats, European. I didn't go because I had no picture, no resume, like green. Honey, you want to say, I was green like your glasses, girl. I didn't know anything. Green. And so,
yes.
I didn't go. And this guy, Charles Kelly, who they call Chuck Kelly, said, I'm going to send you this audition because I didn't go to this other one. You just tell him Chuck sent you. It was for this cruise ship. I was like, okay. And so he sends me for this job. I speak to my boss at Taffy's. I'm like, I have an audition. Can I go? It's the morning. I'll come. Yeah. Okay, sure. We'll let you go. Yeah. Little green Louisiana child. So I go to this audition, walk in at NOLA Studios, I remember. As I said, nothing. Not a picture to show, not a resume to show.
Not a resume.
Didn't even have that. Nothing. Just walk in. Not even a Polaroid, child.
Not even a Polaroid.
Like, I could have been walking into a bodega to get a bagel and cream cheese. That's how basic my ass was.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, do you remember what you wore?
I knew the body of the honey was going to get the gig.
What did you have? Wait, I need to visualize 22, 3-year-old Christopher Davis, green, from Taffy's, going to his audition for a cruise ship. What did you have on?
I remember a light gray unitard, tank top unitard, with a little skinny black belt. Yes. Black Giordano's. Yes. They had that little heel on it. And short. So, I was snatched. I was like, if I get nothing, the body's going to give me some attention. So I walked in. Right. They talk, and the guy behind, I said, oh, so who is it? Chuck sent me. And he went, Oh, like
Mm.
you must, be good.
Oh, look at you, all connected.
Because he doesn't just send people like
Right.
nothing. So I dance and do everything, and then like, okay, great. Can you come back later this evening? I'm like, okay, still green, not knowing. So, and during that time, they had me sing. Now, I had done a chorus line with my teacher, like regional theater.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even have any sheet music.
Mm-hmm.
So they made me sing
Oh
one chorus line, 3 different ways. Say, okay, sing it bluesy this way, sing it the way you would sing it at the show. Now sing it this jazzy stuff, to try to hear my range, because I didn't have anything. So I go back that evening. I go back to the hotel in the Taffies. Oh, they want me to come back. Is that okay? Child, green. And they're like, yeah, that's a good thing. like, dummy, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I go back in,
how fun.
put my outfit on later that evening. I walk in the room, and I'm ready to dance again. And they're like, okay, we'd like to offer you the job. Like that. Because they had me do a couple of aerials and tell me, they're like, oh, if Chuck sent you, you can dance and tell me. Right. And so said yes. Chuck didn't know what to look at a contract, nothing. I'm like, okay, let's just go. So all of a sudden, I go back to the hotel because my shift at Tabs had ended because I was at the audition. Walk back to the near marquee. Tell my teacher, hi, I got the job. It spread through that dance convention from everybody, from my teacher to Abby Lee Miller, everybody. Abby Lee was like, oh my God. First audition, booked it.
That's amazing.
Was leaving.
That's amazing.
In 6 weeks, so had no place to stay. One of my coworkers at Taffy, going back to her college at Northwestern in Chicago, said, tell you what, you can stay at my parents' place on the Upper West Side, because that's where she lived. I'm like, okay, that'll be cool. Her said, you can have one on my room when I'm gone. My mom and dad, my dad has a place in LA and back and forth, and my mom is here. Great. Not knowing what I was about to find out. Fabulous family, the Love Ladies.
Oh no, you did not freeze saying this. Oh, I was like, wait, you did not freeze on this part. No, we lost your sound.
I'm here. I can.
Okay. Are you there?
So.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I knew Kate Love Lady, love the Love Ladies. And so they set me up. I go in to their house on the Upper West Side, 3-bedroom, grand piano. Her father invented Alf. Remember Alf, the puppet? With the nose?
Yes. What? You're staying.
So you walk in the house, there's the Emmy sitting right there in the living room.
You know what? This conversation's over. I can't. I can't.
So that was my charmed life of coming into New York City.
That's exactly the word I was going to say. You have had a charmed start to all. This is amazing.
And they see that they're sweet, and they see this green ass child from Louisiana. And so I lived with the Love Ladies while I was in rehearsal. And then left on the cruise ship, and we did an 8-month contract on the ship, and they got rid of that because it was too long.
Yeah, it's too long.
Months,
oh my God.
And then
8 months.
That started my journey. Then came back and got my job back at Taffy's. I'm back. Then auditioned for another show. Ziegfeld and Night at the Follies was non-union troika. And, I was the Black person for that show.
Yeah.
Because they had a song called the Harlem Waltz. so I had to sing the Harlem Waltz.
Oh boy, here we go.
Come
on.
And that was a great tour. It's troika. And we are still friends to this day, all those people who went on to Broadway and Rockettes. We were all green. We were just happy to have, your first gig. So we were all these youngsters, just like, oh, we have a job. So, and I found out later after that tour, I auditioned for The Wiz. they were doing another, you know, the 15th revival tour with Stephanie Mills and Andre DeShields. And I realized that George Faison had seen that tour when we had gone through Virginia someplace, because I walk into the audition, you know, that's when they had show jackets. So I'm wearing my Ziegfeld show jacket. I'm the only Negro on the show, so you saw the show, you saw me. And I remember George looking with his assistant, looking at and nodding her head at me like, oh, wait, we've seen that show. We've seen him.
Yes.
And that audition, honey, if you have never, ever auditioned for a George Faison, Lord help you.
Baby.
I mean, it ain't no step touch game.
Oh no. I mean, I remember doing very briefly Sweet Otis at Albanelli, and by then I was already injured, so I did like maybe 2 rehearsals, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. My hip was on fire. I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Someone threw their back out.
Judy, take me out.
I think 2 people did. And we're on the floor. And how am I going to survive this? And I did it, and then there was a call back another day, and I thought, I don't know if I can go back to this, Cuddy, because you could barely walk after the first day.
Thank you. And I can hear George now just screaming at the kids, just screaming. How long did you do the tour for?
I think a year or so. That's where I met Evelyn Ebo.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Miss Evelyn, who I went to school with and danced with the Excellent Ankle with.
And
I just love all of this.
Rachel
we all just know each other.
My dance wife. And Jiffy, all those people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love it. So you're talking about, you know, being green, having all this help along the way. And I think about, now that I've known you for so long, first of all, if you're just joining us, thank you guys. I'm talking to Christopher F. Davis. He is the Associate Artistic Director at Wilmington Dance Academy of Ballet. And I definitely want to make sure we get to that, because that's where you are now. Yeah. And that's exactly what I want to support and talk about. But thinking about the work that you're doing now, and since you know, we've known each other, and especially when you brought me in, you know, with Dancing Downtown at the Joyce, and really just helping young people, like, it's like you just giving back. You just recycling it back.
Yes.
Because you were given so much, including talent to do it, but you really did have a charmed path to all your success.
Yeah, I mean,
like, who could tell that story?
The image, Alf, like, oh, that's my room. I'm stay here with you all. And when I got back from the cruise ship, I had to stay with them again because I had a bad situation with an apartment, and they came and picked me up. I was freaking out, and the son hopped in the car, came and got me, and drove me back to the apartment. So I stayed back on the Upper West Side. But yeah, just trying to existence, and that has been my thing. Even when I moved to New York City, if there was anyone that was greener than me, once I started getting more experience, I would always help them, because so many people stood and helped me. And you have to always pay that forward. Always.
Yes.
It's not even a thought process. You just do it.
You just do it. Yeah. And just, you know, like even mentorship, like I've been, you know, the last year and a half and doing a lot of online Zoom calls and mentor moments. And I love it. Like, I love working with young people. I love, you know, like even to your point of not having that resume and that picture and that photo and bio, right? And, you know, just guiding people to say, okay, these are the things you need to have. Even just recently, I was telling someone about, you know, artists that we're contracting coming up for Summer Stage and things like this. Like, yes, you want to get paid on time, but what then you have to do on your side is make sure that you have your pay documents ready to go. Like, we can't pay you if you don't have your W-9 ready to send to us, your banking information at the ready, as well as a way to send your contract back. So these small little details that keep you prepared and ready for whatever the gig is, that's important that people need to know.
Well, that's the thing, you know, you'd always hear this thing called show business. And I said, oftentimes we're all about the show because I'm a creative, I'm an artist. I said, you forgot that second part, business. You gotta be about the business.
Right. Your business got to be straight. I mean, how many of us, there's only maybe a handful of us in the greater scheme of things that have agents and managers. Really?
Hello.
We're all out here working on our own, doing our own taxes, doing all that stuff. So
I mean, well,
get your paperwork in order.
If you do the business part, how are you going to pay the rent to eat? So even if you're not a numbers whiz, which I am not, at least I know, you got to get paid for your job, and make sure if they tell you bring those documents, those W-9s, just do that much. Yeah.
And so post cruise ship, post the Wiz, did you ever, I wasn't sure what's by your bio, did you ever do any late stints
here's the funny part. They wanted me to audition for when I was Mr. Dance in Texas. This other lady worked with Dallas Black Theater a lot, Patricia, was a ballet teacher. And she was trying to set me up. Said, you know what? I think you should audition for Hallie. I'm friends with Judy. And I freaked out. Because during this time I started dancing, PBS was the thing that I loved, because then I could watch. So that was the first time I saw Dancing of Harlem doing Creole Giselle. Remember you had the VHS? So I had this on VHS. Yeah. I saw Paul Taylor. Oh, I saw Twyla Tharp doing the Catherine Will. I remember that. I saw Hallie, and Bill T. Jones had a piece on Hallie, and Blue Sweet.
Deep in the water.
There is a house down in New Orleans. I mean, so for her to approach me about that, I said, I don't have that kind of training. No. So I freaked out about that. So I never did any concert work. It freaked me out, because I would see all the other kids, and they're tilting, honey, and I'm like, oh, I do not. Even though I could learn, I think I was intimidated. I mean, because they were like, oh, we've gone to this performing arts high school here, we've done this, and I just thought, I'm not there. So I never did company work, even though I loved it, and I've taken class with company dance. I've even taken class with, Dwight and Des, and they would do a master series at Steps, and I would go dancing. So I would take class with people like that, but I just wouldn't dive in and leave that world. It was safe.
Right. Yeah. So that leads me to then you getting into, your work with like Broadway Care. So how long after were you still dancing and performing when you began your administrative side of your life?
So the joke about Broadway Cares is that, as a Broadway performer, you're always doing things for them. Broadway Bears, and you're shaking that red bucket after your show. So, give me money. So our joke was, when I retire, I want to work for Broadway Cares. And you manifest things, you say it half jokingly, but you're also thinking like, oh, because I knew Tom Viola, because I had a greyhound, and he's a dog lover, so we see each other at the dog park, and I always was a great admirer of Tom. And so I thought I'd love to work for him, the organization. Pipe dream. Nobody ever leaves Broadway Cares. So I retired. My knees were killing me in my back from tumbling.
What was the last show you did?
Jimmy Buffett Tiki Time Tour. That was a good gig, honey.
What was that?
It was he did all of his old songs and did more like a Tiki Time 1950s thing. He'd always had two female dancers, always.
Okay.
He decided to bring in men for the first time. And so my friend Kyle Craig Bogart was the choreographer, and called me in, and he wanted seasoned dancers. He didn't want any 20-year-olds. He said, this is too much of an easy gig. It was 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Here's the funny part. We had a Christmas break. I opened my mailbox. There's a check. I call accountant. I'm like, I think there's a mistake. We're on break, and I have a check. It's like, oh yes, it's a bonus check. Jimmy gives everyone a bonus check for working for him. Don't you get a bonus check on Broadway? I was like, no. You don't dance?
No.
That's your bonus.
That's your bonus.
I mean, he took us to Hawaii for the final thing. So, we had our own suites. So my suite in Houston was at the Four Seasons. I'm at the in Hawaii, my suite, we sit at the Mandarin Oriental. So my suite overlooked the golf course. And he said, I've got to take my dancers. So we only did 2 shows in Hawaii. 2. One on the Big Island.
I love it.
And one in Maui. The rest of the time, we're by the pool and Tiki. It was a sweet, sweet gig. So that was my last thing. And then I worked at a law firm, an immigration law firm. I got the job because I was a dancer. And the partner loved the arts. Yeah. And you were one of my friends in Philly. You're my friend Dawn and Gary. So she was like, oh, hired. Like, she's like, I like the arts. She said, I know that artists are always trying to find work. So she knew the struggle. Yes. Yeah. Kept a gig, Chris. I tried. Yeah, kept a gig. And I've managed DJs. Yeah. My friend Randy Madison, I did Saigon with. I was his manager, and another friend, Jack Reyna. So at the time, I was ending on Broadway. I was also managing these circuit party DJs, you know, going here and there in Fire Island and gay days. So I was, I tried to stay busy. So did all that and got that job. And then I was told by a friend that there was an opening happening at Broadway Cares. So I was like, oh, yay. He said, well, it's DRA. So I was like, isn't that the modern dance division? I said, I'm not a modern dancer, even though I was friends with Desmond and Dwight and all those kids. The funny thing is, in New York City, in the concert world, the Black kids would audition for commercial work. If there's a commercial happening, like a Subaru ad or something, they would go in. The white kids were like, oh, we do downtown, we don't do commercial work. So I knew a lot of the Black kids who were in concert dance because, you know, hey fam, what's up? So I thought DRA had that reputation for me as really much more of that downtown modern thing. I thought, I don't think this is really for me. And he said, no, you should look into it. And I knew about DRA because they had done a Broadway Bears, and I knew Hernando Cortez. Hang out with Hernando at the club, you know, the whole gay thing. So I do a resume. My friend Frank Conway helped me put it together, and we submitted it. And at some point, they were asking Denise, like, well, who's on your short list? And it got back to me. And she said, well, Chris Davis is on the short list. And they told me. I was like, what? I said, I'm not. Yeah.
They were talking about Denise Harlan, right?
Like, what? And so I was waiting, and finally, honey, I get called into the building. I'm like for another interview. I'm like, and still not really sure, you know. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna fit. All of a sudden, Tom calls me into his office. Tom Biola, the executive director. His office is next to Denise's office, and sits me down. And I, because I know Tom as a friend, I don't think much. I'm like, okay, he's gonna drop the hammer as a friend, like, you know, you retort. I'm thinking he's gonna, like, you know, we really like you, but maybe it's not the right fit. He offers me the job. I was like, what? So it was really wonderful. I had to learn a lot. I go in, and so I learned a lot about modern dance with Paul Taylor and different companies that I wasn't really familiar with, you know. So it was a great learning experience. I got to work with a lot of different dance studios, but also one of the things that was kind of fun was because I am this Broadway person. When we were started curating for Fire Island, I started getting more comfortable. Then I would voice, like, you know, I really want Ballet Hispanica. And they had never been at the dance. So I'm like, you know, so I'm talking to one of the other producers. I'm like, no, they need to be here. And they're pushing back. I'm like, no, I'm fighting for this. So
So just quickly, for people that might not know that are watching, just explain the breakdown of Broadway Cares, DRA, and Fire Island.
Umbrella. So program, we'll say. So DRA is what they consider the dance division, even though the concert dance division, even though Broadway Cares has, you know, all these Broadway shows and dances that do it. Then they have a classical action division that does all the opera people, like Renee Fleming does things, and Yo-Yo Ma, all those people do the opera section. And then they'll have other entities that maybe do more about green and being green sustenance, eco-friendly things. and reaching out into schools and doing that.
Okay.
So they have all these programs underneath Broadway Cares that kind of oversees all this. It's a really, even though it's only about 50 employees, it has a wide reach. Majorly. So all the money goes into one pot, and then we disperse it. It's a really good way to, because you know, each division may have 2 or 3 people. You know, it's like me, Denise, and like someone else, and we're running everything. And then you'll use like the Broadway Cares producers who are part of the stage management, have that skill set, or my friend Trisha, who's a producer, she'll help you with the fundraising aspect of that. You'll collaborate with all the different departments, the graphics department, like. So it was this whole big thing. But I started bringing in Broadway people. Finally got in Ballet Hispanico because I was like, this is Tina Ramirez. She'd see me, she'd grab me, come on, you're gonna get me in. I'm like, yes, and I'm working on it, Tina. So they got it, and now they're fan favorite. And bringing in Broadway. So the first thing I did was get Jerry Mitchell, because I worked for Jerry, and got him to set a piece at that point on the Bad Boys of Ballet, because I knew Rasta. I'd known Rasta since he was like 16. So I thought, okay, if we can collaborate with this, that'll kind of weave it in. So Jerry was the first person, Jerry Mitchell, to do a piece that was commissioned from a Broadway perspective for DRA. It was Jerry. And then it kind of took off. That's how you, because you would come out, you would see they'd always have a Broadway thing, and that's how it kind of started that ball rolling, because the crowd loved it. You know, a lot of people at Fire Island, they see arts, but they see a lot of theater, and so you wanted to try to expand that audience, because have that reputation as a really old white man. Just so you know, even I would be on Fire Island. I was in Fire Island every year. We never go to the festival. Like, I'm gonna have cocktails with my friends. Right. So I remember, like, even Amy was there, and I had a ticket because my DJ that I represented would spin the open for the festival. And he said, "Oh, we have 2 tickets waiting for you and Dennis." I was like, "Okay," because you guys are out here on the island with your friends Don and Gary. I'm like, "Okay." So of course I passed Renee Robinson on the board where she's going. I'm like, "Hey, girl, don't go." So to have that journey of this perception of what it was, and then to become part of DRA, and then work and do all that, was really eye-opening and great. You know, it was fun.
Beautiful. And you know, I feel terrible that I've never, in my 15 years at Summer Stage, obviously it always intersects, and I can never get there because I'm always having a function. And in the last, I guess, 2 years, they weren't able to do it in person. So prayers up and fingers crossed that the Fire Island Dance Festival will be able to happen this year in person. And I adore Denise Hurlin. You know, we've gotten closer over this last 2 years on a different project we're involved in, and her daughter, of course, Kate Hurlin.
Honey, that child.
She's doing Don Q this upcoming season. Am I getting that right?
Honey,
at ABC?
Watching her go from Westchester Dance Academy, and then we were like, oh my God, she's still gonna be about. And then when she got into the school, and you see those photos of Rosie O'Connor taking of her, and to watch her dance, and then we had her dance at the dance festival, and she was this little young thing, and you were like, holy crap.
Right. Yeah. So her star is
I remember Dennis looking at her
doing
like,
it.
yeah, she's gonna have like an endorsement.
Doing it.
She'll be representing some luxury thing.
So speaking of, before I ask you about the Ballet Academy, speaking of Dennis, so Dennis is Chris's husband. Like how long have you guys been married now?
But we've been together 18, married not that amount of time.
Wait. Married for 18? Wait, so you've been together 18 years and been married how long? I want to say
maybe like 10. Yeah.
Wow. Like, I just remember running you guys, you know, in the city and downtown and out and about at things. Just like,
we were always out and about town.
I love it. And can I just go back for a second, if you don't mind me asking you this, but like, you know, growing up, Louisiana, your parents, whatever, did they know you were gay?
They
Were you
never
out?
really
Like,
discussed it.
what was
My
that?
cousins and I discussed it. It's that Southern thing of like, we know, but we don't talk about it. I remember having this discussion with my sister. She's like, "Oh yeah, well, Dad, you were gay," I said, but he never discussed it, so I was not going to bring it up.
Right.
So it was kind of like, you know, it's
Yeah.
there, but if you don't speak it into existence, you kind of pretend.
Right.
Whereas my cousins and my friends, like, yeah, he's gay, and we all hang on Tiki to this day, because my cousins were more like siblings because we're all the same age, so that was never. And my aunts, it's very weird, that dynamic with parents versus like other relatives. And really, I think was a generational thing at that point.
Right.
Whereas now I have a younger cousin who's lesbian, and so her grandmother, my aunt, you know, they love her, but I think it took a while to them, like, okay, well, we have Chris, got Lindsay, we got this, and they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, and the world is not imploded.
Right. Okay, exactly.
We're
right.
still the same fabulous children that you've all known, and we are the fun ones in the family anyway. You should be lucky to have us.
Yes. Yes, no, I just love seeing the photos of, it's like your little family, you, Dennis and Ginger. I love that. It's, you know, the Christmas photos. I love you guys on social. So before we get too long into this, because we're already an hour, oh my God.
Of course.
This is awesome. And thank you again for doing this. So Chris is the Associate Artistic Director
Wilmington
of Wilmington Ballet. Am I saying that right? Academy of the Dance. And the first Black person, African-American, to hold this position in the 65-year history of this organization. And so what, do you feel that? How does it hit you when you figure that out? Were you told that? Did you
I
know
was
that
told that. I assumed that. The thing about the Academy, it was a really amazing institution. We're trying to bring it back up to where it used to be. This is the Academy that trained Susan Stroman, Akua Noni Parker.
Oh, wow.
Akua's an alum. She teaches a lot for us. Yeah. Lateef.
Yeah. So who was a former Alvin Ailey principal?
Lateef Williams is here.
Yeah.
Another Kimberly Salento at Washington Ballet. And they had this whole structure of great alumni. So to come in and do that at this point was really amazing, sometimes overwhelming. You felt the burden of being the first Black person, really, from any sort of microaggression from certain parents or people in the community that were white. So, you know,
tell me about that.
You know, to almost speak to you as though you don't know what the hell's going on when you bring things. And I want to go, have you seen my resume? I know what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
On a major level, much more than a dance studio.
Like questioning your efficacy and being able to train their dancers, train their kids. I mean, same with me, you know, meeting people that because what I look like, who I am, they don't think I know anything about any other form of dance besides hip hop. First of all, I never danced hip hop, okay? But I could book it, I could present it, but I could also present Limon, you know, New York City Ballet, Martha Graham, as well as Alvin Ailey.
That's the thing. So you would see, and it's you know, it can be very provincial here in Wilmington, Delaware, so they're not used to that. And so with Benjamin and I here, we both have these big ideas, and so we've been sort of really rechanging the way the students think about dance, and you can have this future. And yeah, people kind of, you know, think like, oh, it's going to be an all-Black studio now. It's going to change. The first thing that happened, we took over.
Ooh, was he the first as well?
Yeah, so can you imagine?
Was he the first as well?
He was not ready for that.
Double dose of darkness, honey.
Over there. So that was really amazing. But yeah, we got a few some pushback from people about this. Like when we transitioned, the old executive director was still here teaching and the same staff, but then and we hadn't even started really teaching anything. I was still teaching my adult jazz classes, so everybody knew me from, oh, he's the Broadway guy that teaches that. And it got back to us at some point. I said, oh, the quality of the teaching has changed. is lessened. Now, here's the deal.
Oh,
We
come
hadn't even
on.
started teaching yet. So it was still the same old faculty. See?
You hadn't even started teaching yet and talking about the quality's going down. Baby.
Here, we were still transitioning. So everybody stayed on teaching their classes. But that's what got back. I'm like, how could that quality change? You've had the same people for the past 2 years. Oh, it's the people that are in charge now. That's the difference.
Right.
So those sort of microaggressions from a bunch of parents. We've sort of cleaned out house a lot, and they've gone their ways, and it's been good. And the kids are stepping up. So it's been a really, really good thing. Back to earlier about mentoring young kids. You know, we've been able to do that a lot. And, you know, it's very funny when people will see the makeup of the population of our dance studio. I have about 5 little Black kids. The rest of the population is white. So, but when they see you, they think, oh, they must run this. They already categorize what kind of studio we have. Oh, you must only do this and that. I'm like, no, it's the same Academy of the Dance that you've. No, look at all those kids, honey.
Right. Yeah, we still do Nutcracker. We still got, you know, same music.
Still do all of that. So yeah, it's interesting, but it's been really good to kind of change that perspective. And you know, the thing is, if you underestimate me, then I lean into it. I'm like, okay, great. Underestimate me. I welcome you. I welcome you to underestimate me because I'm about to crack your face and say, I love that.
Yeah.
Run and tell that, honey.
You can do that. Yeah. Seriously. Oh, so over it.
So, you know, our kids are really good. They've kind of embraced that and this whole thing. So, you know, they are learning the lingo. Before they had to go out on stage.
Yes, of course they are.
I said, I want you to snatch their wigs. And they performed, honey.
I know they were ready. What's the hey Taryn from 90 Second Street Y? What's the age range that you are teaching
I tend to
and
have
coaching?
The older kids, so I have high school and I'll have intermediate. But our studio has a very vibrant adult dance program. So we have ages 4 to like 80. That adult program, they don't like to miss classes. 80, honey. Our 8-year-olds. The teacher's 75. That class is full. They have class Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday adult class. They used to have like 5 or 4 before COVID. Now it's down to 3 for the adult ballet.
Wow.
Down. I mean, so.
Wow. I love it. I love it. And so are you fully back in now? I mean, how is it
fully
sort
back
of hybrid or you're back in?
We had to go hybrid. We're very fortunate that the vice president of our board of directors is a nurse. So, and a health advisor. So she set the entire protocol for the studio. We found that we thought we were behind the game. We were ahead. We found it from other administrators. Had it set up. We have 3 studios in the building. Each studio has access to our courtyard. So the kids can enter in one way, exit out through the courtyard, back onto the sidewalk of the street in front. So we have computers in every studio now. So we would go to Zoom and have classes. Now we've been back in for, you know, a year. This is our first Nutcracker that was live. Yeah. It was great because last week we did a virtual live stream. So we brought down
That's
Gina,
right.
And the kids from DTH and Balashki, Ukrainian Dance Ensemble, and we put them on the stage at the Playhouse and filmed it in live stream. So they only did their excerpts. And so this year we were able to bring them back. Of course, Gina couldn't do it because their schedule changed at Big City Ballet. Gina,
Miss Georgia, honey.
You know, she teaches master classes for us. So she and Akua always come back. So Akua always plays mother.
Nice.
You know, the house. So they come back and teach, but we got to have a live Nutcracker. It was amazing to be back on that stage. The kids loved it. We brought in new elements. We brought in a digital screen and not the backdrops. And so it's been a really good, it's been a big learning game, but also really amazing experience.
Nice. Oh my God, that's so awesome. And just going back to Georgina for a second, I saw her in the fall.
Yeah.
As part of Fall for Dance.
Fosse legacy.
Did this I forget the name of that Fosse. Ooh, I mean, we used to talk about tearing the house down, honey.
She was back here in November. We did a panel on race.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it was Gina and Benjamin and a few other local executives, and we did a whole discussion about race and the arts and the changing face of race and the arts and gender and how women are now getting roles too. Because we reached out to Francesca, but then she couldn't come down to do it. So yeah, Gina loves it. We love having her. She loves some of the women. She brings her dog Jet. Yeah. So Jet is used to the dance studio. So.
And now she's on like the New York Times bestseller list with her book.
You mean?
Come on. You have it? Yes. I know. You know what? I said I am not going to buy another book until I get through at least. I have so many books I need to catch up on. My reading has gotten so bad. I just spend too much time on social. I really need to get back to my reading. It takes me forever, and I'm ashamed to admit it, but I'm trying to get there.
During the panel, I said, bring these books out.
Of course she did.
You're the queens. So she did that, and it's been great. So we're very fortunate.
Nice. Beautiful. So so after we're done, I'm going to make sure I link your the website to your academy and my link tree. Anything coming up that we should know about, look out for.
We are expanding the idea of a dance academy and really doing community outreach. So we're teaching our kids there's more to life than just the Nutcracker. So we're going to have a performance April 3rd at the Milton Theater, who I hooked you up with Fred. We're going to be down there April 3rd. Yeah. We work a lot with the Delaware Art Museum.
Okay.
We're planning something with them as well, in the Delaware Contemporary. So we are definitely part of that community. And of course, if you go to the website, you'll see upcoming classes for the summer intensive. We bring in Akua's coming down to teach for that. We have a musical theater workshop we're starting on the 29th with my friend Raven.
Nice.
With Cirque du Soleil is coming down to teach. Another friend, Joan Barber, who I did Christmas Carol with, is going to teach voice.
Nice. I mean, that's important because, to be honest, like, you can be studying dance, but, you may not always get into a dance company or whatever. So, your dance talents can take you elsewhere to Broadway or, other forms. So that way, one thing that doesn't work, right, you can go somewhere else. So and that way you can stay in the arts and keep performing and living your dreams, your best lives.
Trying to get those kids right, good jobs in checks, honey.
Oh my God. Well, listen, I cannot wait. Okay. I cannot wait until we can have another dance day. I got to tell you guys, going to Philly and meeting up with Chris in Philly. Yes. We've been to see Ballet X, our girl Christine Cox, or even in New York. Yeah, I love our little dance dates. I miss those. I can't. Just a good old Kiki and always a good time. And listen, I have enjoyed getting to know you even more through this interview tonight and is reading more about you. It's just, it's fascinating.
You are the bomb.
All that you've done.
Honey.
Amazing.
I mean, come on.
Thank you. We're up in these streets. Well, so I told you I'll be in Philly hopefully next week to see Alvin Ailey, and
give me a holler.
Maybe I'll just give you a holler while I'm done. I know you said you're busy, but I'll give you a buzz anyway. Yeah, right. So
it is
freezing here, so I'm going to be under the covers.
There to me. In this, and we have classes tomorrow. We have a master class we started called Beyond the Nutcracker. So we have a class for that day. The school year to teach this. Aku is one of those teachers as well. So that's it. Yeah. Really.
Nice. That's awesome. Yes. Well, more to come. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you on here. We'll hear about your programs. And yes, indeed. So love to Dennis, love to Ginger. Are you still
Am
there?
I
You're a little
frozen?
bit frozen. Uh-oh. I think you're still there. There you go. And yeah, just stay warm. Yeah, stay warm, stay
Oh, my
safe.
pleasure.
And again, thank you for doing this. And thank you for supporting
Always, honey.
my little
Always.
adventures
I'm always down for a
as
Kiki.
well.
I adore you. Be well, everyone.
Love you. Yes. Stay safe. Do you know how to you see the little X there to get out, to let yourself out? Oh my God. Oh my God. That was Chris Davis. So I have to go back really quickly and correct a name that I said earlier. Let me just bring up his photo again because I remembered it as I was talking to Chris. This dancer's name is actually Craig Hall. I called him Craig Harris earlier. That's a musician. This is Craig Hall with Chris and the great Wendy Whalen, who is now the Associate Artistic Director of New York City Ballet, but a longtime ballerina, prima ballerina with the company. So I just wanted to make that correction before I close this out. This is Craig Hall and not Craig Harris. Okay. So thank you, Chris Davis. But actually, while I'm still here, I want to throw up just one or two more photos of him. Look, hey, with Jennifer Holiday. What? Just a career he has had. Please make sure you visit the website and support the Wilmington Dance Academy for Ballet. This leg is up, honey. Yes, Chris. And also this weekend, guys, I think I might have a photo of it somewhere, or maybe not. But this weekend on for Summer Stage and Winter Jazz Fest, we partnered up to do a program, a live stream for the Winter Jazz Fest show that we were going to do in person at City Winery. We had to cancel because of all, Omicron and everything else. So we have pivoted into a virtual show that'll air tomorrow night through the winterjazzfest.com website, but also on our Summer Stage Facebook channel. It's free. It's a free live stream, and it'll be featuring jazz greats Micaiah McCraven, as well as Samara Joy, and poetry spoken word by Mahogany Brown. So if you're around tomorrow night and you're staying in this weekend, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, go to Summer Stage Facebook page as well as winterjazzfest.com for a free live stream for the finale of Winter Jazz Fest. So yeah, things to do this weekend, things to watch as you snuggle in on this cold weekend. So thanks again to my guest, Chris Davis. I might have a guest next week. I'm not sure because, again, I'm planning to go to Philly to see Alvin Ailey in my hometown. So there you have it. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Be kind to each other. Love yourselves. Love each other. And I will see you next time. Thank you.